Hey, welcome to worshiptutorials.com. In this video, I am going to review for you the Sennheiser Evolution Wireless Digital family of products. I have two different wireless systems from Sennheiser here with me today. I have a wireless microphone. This is the 835 wireless mic, and I have the wireless instrument body pack. And then these are the receivers over here on the desk. So I'm going to break this review down into a couple sections. One, we're going to talk about the features of this new wireless system from Sennheiser, what sets it apart from previous systems of theirs, other systems that Sennheiser offers, and that you can get from other companies. As well, I'm going to talk about ease of use because they've got a couple really cool things that they've done. And then I'm going to talk about using it live, our experience with that. Fuller and I both used, I used the wireless instrument pack and Fuller used the wireless mic. On a Sunday morning, we talk about what that experience was like, and then, of course, sound quality. How good does it sound? So let's get into it. If you are anything like me and you have like a little bit of production tech background, but you're not well versed in it, wireless systems can be pretty confusing. So I actually hopped on a call with Sennheiser's technical department, and I asked a lot of questions about this line versus other lines that they have, other things that you can get in the market today. And they really helped me understand it and break down what makes this line of wireless systems great and why you might want it versus other things. So if you're familiar with Sennheiser, you probably know of the G3, G4 line. This is sort of the next iteration of that, the next evolution of that. So the Evolution Wireless Digital replaces the G3 and the G4 lineup. And you might also remember that we reviewed the wireless guitar pack from the XSW line. Now the XSW line would compete with something like the wireless guitar units from line 6. It would also compete with like the little packs that you can get from Amazon with like, it has one thing you plug into your guitar and the other thing that you plug in on the other side, and the two talk to each other. So all of those types of products they're typically less expensive, and they live in the 2.4 gigahertz range. The limitation comes when you have multiple systems that work at that level at the same time. So in speaking with Sennheiser, they said you can really get away with about 5 of those systems working at the same time. Once you go above 5, they don't talk to one another anymore. And it makes sense. You kind of get what you pay for, right? So you can get one of those wireless guitar units for like $150, and they work well. I've used the Line 6 stuff. I used the Sennheiser stuff. I was going to show you the XSW Sennheiser pack that I have, but Bradford is borrowing it to use it at church this Sunday. So, and that's in a large venue, but as long as you don't have, more than 4 or 5 people using one of those types of systems at the same place, you'd be fine. If you want to go up to the next level, the Evolution Wireless setup is going to be for you, because you can literally use hundreds of them in the same sort of venue at the same time. So you can have wireless microphones, wireless instruments, wireless in-ear packs that work on the same sort of spectrum at the same time. So it's much more controllable, and you can do much more at the same time. So you're buying into a much more robust system that you can scale up with as you grow, as you add more wireless units. They won't interfere with one another, and they'll just kind of seamlessly work all at the same time. So that is sort of the difference, what you get from going from the more affordable systems to the higher end systems like the Evolution Wireless series. Okay, to illustrate what you get when you get one of these setups, I'm just going to show you the wireless guitar pack. So you basically have 2 pieces. You have the transmitter and you have the receiver. So the transmitter is the part that you would clip onto your belt. If you want to do that, this plugs into your instrument right here, and it transmits the signal to the receiver. The receiver then takes it, and then you can output it via XLR or 1/4 inch out. So this will work with really any type of instrument that you want it to work with. Traditionally you would use this with a guitar, but you could use it with really anything that you wanted to transmit wirelessly. You also get some other, things that will let you rack mount these types of things. And then use them with like an antenna system if you have that kind of thing going on. But really, it comes down to two basic pieces: the transmitter and the receiver. The microphone setup is exactly the same. Here's the wireless microphone. You can change the capsules on these. So this is the 835 capsule, but you can use this transmitter with different capsules if you want to upgrade to different types of microphones. But as you'll see later in this review, this 835 capsule sounds really, really good. Fuller loved it. He keeps asking me, can I borrow that thing? Can I just have it, at his church? So this would act as the transmitter in this situation, and then it pairs with the receiver. That's how the system works, essentially. So you have a transmitter and a receiver, and then you would plug this into your board, whatever it is that you're running your audio signals into. All right, let's talk about setup. This is where things have traditionally been difficult for various reasons. One is you've got this little screen. I picked up my phone because they have an app that goes with this. I'm going to show it to you in a second. So one of the reasons that these can be difficult is you've got this little screen. You see this number on here. This is set at 523.000 megahertz. That is where what it's connecting with. This is the pack. You can see it because I've labeled it Guitar 1. This is my guitar pack. And so, you have to set these things up so that they're on the same frequency and make sure they talk to one another. You have to set them up and make sure that they're not interfering with other things that are going on in the room. And in the past, these require a bit of technical knowledge to know how to use them. If you've never worked with a wireless system before, they can be difficult until now. So Sennheiser has released an app, and it lets you set the whole thing up. It's super easy. All right, so to demonstrate just how easy this is to set up, I have reset this receiver and the transmitter. So pretending like this would be like I've opened the box and pulled the microphone wireless setup out of the box. This has a red light on it. That means it is not synced to the app yet. It's not ready to go. So we're just gonna add it. I'm gonna show you how easy this is to do with like zero technical background. So we're in the app. Here, we're going to add new device. Now it's going to walk me through the process. We're going to connect with the device, customize it, start the auto frequency setup, and then sync to the transmitter. All right, here we go. It says to press the sync button for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. All right, it is doing its thing. It automatically just popped up. It says EWD. So we're gonna add this receiver to our setup. Identify your device by checking the permanently lit blue button. I see it right there. We're going to rename this thing. We're gonna call it Vox 1. That's what it was called. It will be called that again. Vox 1. So if you have a lot of different microphones in your setup, you can name them whatever you want. We'll call it Vocal 1. We're going to change, why don't we make it blue? Okay, that sounds nice. We're going to save it. So now we have a Bluetooth pairing request from the phone. So we're just going to do this. It's doing its thing because it's using Bluetooth to communicate between the app and the receiver. Okay, so that's done. We're going to hit next. Now, we're going to auto scan. So we're going to turn on all the receivers. So I have my other receiver here. So if you had, a whole bunch of wireless devices at your church or at your venue, you would do this now, and it's going to make sure that they all communicate together and not interfere with one another. So it's doing the auto frequency scan. You can see that it's happening here. You can do this all from the receiver itself, but it's just a lot easier if you just let the app do things automatically. All right, it's set. I can see that it's named Vox 1. It's not linked to the transmitter, so that's the next step. Okay, the next step is to sync the transmitter. I've got that option up. I switched to the handheld because that's what I've got. I'm turning it on, and I'm short pressing the sync button. And now it is doing its thing. I see blue, I see green. It looks like it's working. I'm gonna test this thing here in just a bit. So it says that it is synced. I have it muted. That's the problem. These have a mute button on them. So now you can see as I am using the mic, you can see that the signal is coming in. This transmitter is synced. And then you can see on the app that I've got Vocal 1 and I have got Guitar 1 on there as well. That is my body pack that I set up previously with this system. Now, a couple other things about the app. I'm just going to show you a few things. You can lock the receivers so that they can't do things. You can mute lock it, which is nice, because how many times have you been doing sound check and you can't hear anything and you're like, unmute the wireless mic or the wireless pack, right? It happens all the time. So you can set it so that even when people, I'm going to mute lock it and show you how this works. Mute lock. Now, when I mute my own receiver, it doesn't mute. You can still see level. So I've basically disabled this button from the app. So this is really handy. It gives you at a glance, like if you had a whole bunch of systems, you could see Guitar 1 has 48% battery left. So I could say, hey, Brian, your pack only has half a battery, half power, change your batteries before the service. You can also use the app to sort of reset, the auto scanning, that kind of thing. In case you're running into problems with interference or with the frequencies not lining up, you can set those things. You can resync your transmitters to your receivers if you need to do that. And look, it gives you updates. It's saying mute Vox 1 is muted. It's saying that. So it's like if you have a person who's going to lead a song, you can immediately see, uh-oh, their microphone is unmuted. So then you can come in here and you can mute lock it. Does that work? Yes. Now they're not. Now they're back to being not muted. So you can override somebody if they've accidentally muted their pack. Super handy. I mean, I can just think in my mind how many times that's happened to me where my pack has been muted on my guitar and I didn't even realize it. I'm like, why does this stuff not work? So you can do that. So this app gives you a lot of functionality as far as like using it with a large number of musicians at the same time, and the setup is so easy. So let's talk about what it's like to actually use this thing live on a Sunday. So I'm at Oasis at Fuller's church. Fuller agreed to let us be a guinea pig for him. We are running the Sennheiser, the new wireless digital units. This is the EW Digital stuff. So we have the wireless guitar unit that I'm using, and we have the wireless microphone unit, the E835 capsule with the wireless mic. I think Fuller is going to use this if he's brave. One of the reasons we wanted to do this was we're meeting in a high school, so it's sort of a setup, teardown kind of a thing, and just to show how easy it is to get the whole thing set up and running. And like we haven't tested this in this room because we can't get in here, during the week. We rehearsed at a different location, so we'll show you how that all goes. Since we're in a brand new location, Buster, you think it would be good to reset the frequency since we're in a new place with a bunch of other wireless stuff?
Definitely.
So what I'm going to do is go through in the app here, and I'm just going to tell this thing to find the best frequency. You can hit this set frequency button and you can tell it where you want it to go, or you can say auto scan me. So I'm gonna hit the auto scan me button and it's scanning. You can see it says scanning. It's looking at frequencies. It chose 523.000. So the next thing I'll need to do then is just sync the transmitter. And they have a sync transmitter button in the app as well. And of course you can do all of this stuff on the unit without the app. It's all good. My guitar, and I've got it labeled Guitar 1, all done. It's that easy. So when you take it into a new environment, it's that easy to set it up. And there's lots of wireless stuff in this room. Other wireless units, some from Sennheiser, some from other brands and things like that.
Our entire system reset, so.
Oh no. Everything that I have set that I need is set.
Okay.
Including my wireless guitar unit.
Can you
so easy
play that for me?
Yes, I'll go play it.
Okay.
We might not be doing the wireless mic for Fuller today, but maybe, we'll see. This is Buster, who I've been talking to. You're in the shadow and I'm in the light. Buster, the camera operator behind the scenes. Buster, you've been on in the Sunday vlog series before, talking about Buster is just an outstanding musician and bass player. What are you playing today? This is a what?
This is a modulus.
Oh, you can't see it. Here, let's turn
Quantum
this way.
5. Has a graphite neck
This
through
is all
body.
graphite, carbon fiber.
Graphite neck through body.
That is awesome.
This one is one that went to the NAMM show in 1994 with the Music Loft at the time.
Very cool.
And then stayed in their business for a long time till a buddy of mine bought it.
Look
and
at
I
that.
bought
I'm
it
gonna
off
try
him. When we were in studio recording, sometimes the note will ring 12 measures after I get off of it. And so, you know, you kind of have to fade that out. Yeah.
That's right.
So,
Battle belongs.
about time, man.
My gear today is the Axe-FX 3, the mighty Axe-FX 3 in the dark. There you can see the wireless unit on top of it, playing the Tokai Les Paul Reborn 79. Fuller, come back here and look at this shot.
Is it good?
That's your thumbnail right there. How did that the wireless microphone set up?
Well, Buster said it best as soon as I started singing. He was like, dang, that sounds good. At our last place, we had Neumann capsules. We had the Neumann capsules.
Yeah.
That
So
sounds
you
like
can-
that to me.
You can buy much higher end capsules.
Yeah.
And the capsule being the part of the mic that that makes the sound. And then the body of it is the transmitter that sends it wireless.
And maybe my ears just aren't as advanced
make
enough,
the sound, it
but
captures
I
the
don't
sound.
know why you would need a better capsule.
yeah.
That thing sounds fantastic.
That did sound really good. What's the verdict?
So this
is the wireless mic you use. I use the guitar.
Yeah, so
Flawless victory.
So we
as
already
they
used
say.
Sennheiser Wireless, the level down from this, so it integrated well into the system.
Oh, here you do?
Yeah.
The G3 system?
Yeah. But the mic, I noticed.
I don't know if it's leveled down, but it's previous
Yeah, it's the previous generation. The mic really sounds good, especially on my vocals. Didn't have any wireless interference, which is good. That's the
none.
honestly, that's the most important thing. Not getting.
I think the way that you use the app, and you can do it on here too, where it scans the room
and tells you where the best frequency is. Yeah,
just auto picks.
That is so cool.
What is best, and then you just sync
them together.
sync the transmitters.
Yeah. That's great.
Afterward.
Yeah, I'd
and
say
like
it was
if you
overall success.
And you don't have to do that in every time. Like if you're in one location and you have like say 10 of these or whatever, 5. You just have to do it once and then they're set.
I would love to integrate that into our setup for sure.
In conclusion, I want to talk a little bit about sound quality, which many of you might think that's the most important thing. So with the guitar unit, I did some testing back and forth and did recordings, and I really can't hear a difference between this and like using a cable. I know there is technically going to be a difference because this is, converting the signal digitally to wireless. Technically, it is altering the signal a little bit, but it's not in such a way that I could decide, hear it, just listening back to back. This will give you options over like output levels. So I spent some time before I used this live to set like the gain on this so that it matched like the level that I was sending out, my guitar sent out, just plugging a cable in. This is useful because, you can use these with a wide variety of instruments, right? So if you use these with an acoustic that has a really high output or really low output level, you can compensate for that by boosting the gain from the transmitter itself. I used it into an Axe-FX, so you don't want the level going into your board or modeler or whatever to be different than what it is with a cable. So I went in and I adjusted it so that it was exactly the same as like when I used a cable. Really what that is this gives you more flexibility, but on the other hand, that's more room for like having a setup that changes the way your guitar sounds. So if you are using a system like this and you think every time I use this, like my signal is really weak, it might be because the gain is set low, or if you're using it's like I can't get a clean sound out of my guitar, it might be because you gained it up from the transmitter. So you do need to go through a situation like this and make sure that it's set up correctly. Sennheiser has been in the wireless market forever. So pretty much as long as there's been a wireless market. So they really know what they're doing with this type of product. The sound quality is exceptional. The same thing goes for the microphone. I think if you buy the wired version of the 835, this is like a $100 mic. So this is a plug like for just the Sennheiser 835 microphone. It would compete with like your Shure SM58, that type of microphone. I think the Sennheiser sounds a little better. It's got like a little bit more clarity on the top end compared to other microphones in this price range. Fuller loved it. Like it fit his voice really, really well. And the wireless tech was rock solid when we used it. And it's built to be rock solid in any, type of environment that you might use, except if you're like in a massive venue. But then you're probably looking at higher end units from Sennheiser or other companies as well. You can go higher than this line as well. But all in all, this was a really, really solid option for Fuller and I using both of these systems live. Sound quality is exceptional. The ease of use, I set the whole thing up myself. I can run sound if I need to, but the technical side of this stuff is not my wheelhouse. But I found it really easy to do. I didn't have to look up manuals, like the app just walked me through it. It was a really, really positive experience as far as setup, ease of use, using it on a Sunday, the way it sounded, the way it performed, the way it felt, all that stuff. Really, really high-end offering from Sennheiser. I want to say a huge thank you to Sennheiser for sending this stuff to us. Thank you for the opportunity to use these and review these units for churches. Thank you for watching. Hey, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.